snow.
Yeah, and luckily, I think these winds were winds that we could handle, especially strong across Nantucket with some gusts 40 to 45 miles per hour. And that was earlier. So I think we're already past the point of peak in terms of our wind gusts. Meanwhile, taking a look at as we continue to track Hurricane Erin, it continues to race off to the northeast at 22 miles per hour. So continue to pick up pace as hurricanes do as they move farther off to the north. And you can see that ragged structure of the storm. So it's about to make its post-tropical transition, and it is in the process of doing so. So as we look at our main headlines, that wind will continue to subside through the day, and we'll still be talking about high surf and dangerous rip currents into tomorrow as well. Minor flooding is once again possible through the overnight around high tide, which is around midnight. So we'll be watching for that. That high surf advisory still runs through tomorrow, and this is for all of our beaches for large breaking waves, and the peak heights are already happening this morning, leading to dangerous rip currents and some localized beach erosion. So you look at some of the buoy reports that are still offshore, and some of these wave heights about 20 feet or so. That's closest to that center of Erin. But even some larger waves will continue to build, especially across our south and east facing beaches. So you might see some high waves offshore. That'll be anywhere from about 10 to 15 feet or so, and some higher amounts in the mix too. And wave heights are high as well across our north to east facing beaches, around and above 8 feet or so. Rip current risk running high for all of our beaches. And again for us tomorrow, even though those wave heights won't be quite as impressive as they are today, and we'll likely still have a moderate risk for rip currents on Sunday as we're still getting a lot of that energy from Erin being pushed to our coastline. We'll talk more about the wind timing and your weekend forecast ahead. Great weekend to do that. Warm temperatures, but we will be watching those dangerous conditions on our beaches. We'll talk more about that coming up. Close to the weekend, we'll have some warm afternoons and a whole lot of sunshine. So it's a dry weekend. Great to get outside. That breeze is going to pick up once again on Sunday. And if you're thinking of heading to the beaches, just a heads up, we are still going to have some high surf as well as the potential for dangerous rip currents pretty much throughout most of the weekend. We were talking about the wind gusts over the past 24 hours kicked up because of Hurricane Erin, and some of the highest gusts reported across Nantucket, Edgartown as well. So gusts here about 45 miles per hour. So that was the peak of it, and we still have a little bit of a breeze that's been out there. It's currently out of the northeast about 8 to 15 miles per hour, and some gusts have been in the range close to 30 miles per hour within the past hour. So we've come down a bit, but it is still windy out there. And as we go through the rest of the afternoon, the trend is that the wind is going to continue to subside. So yes, still a breezy afternoon, but once we get to this evening, just a slight breeze will be out there, and the wind is going to be light and relaxed as we go through the overnight hours. As you look at visible satellite, just some cloud cover that has mainly been off to our shore. So we are getting to see abundant sunshine. Any clouds that we did wake up to, that was tied to Hurricane Erin. But as it continues to pull farther away, we're getting increasing sunshine. So we'll continue to see those blue skies into the afternoon. Meanwhile, high pressure is building in. So it was that mix between Hurricane Erin and that high pressure that was creating this stronger pressure gradient driving the wind. And then as it pulls farther away, then we have less in the way of wind and high pressure settles in, and that's what you root for nice temperatures for the weekend, which is what you're going to get. High temperatures are making it into the upper 70s, low 80s. We're close to that right now. 79 currently in Boston, sitting at 80 in Bedford, currently at 70 in Hyannis. And how about those dew points in the 40s and 50s? So this is dry and comfortable air that will keep around through the rest of today. High temperatures making it in the low 80s the farther north and west that you get today. Elsewhere, likely in the upper 70s. We'll have a lot of low to mid 70s across the Cape and the islands. Overnight, it's a cool one, and it's going to be mainly clear as well as temperatures fall for our coolest spots into a range of the 50s across the Cape, closer to 60 degrees, and we'll start to get a wind shift. It'll turn more southwesterly. That's going to help to boost our temperatures as we head in through the rest of the weekend. We do still have a coastal flood advisory, so this is highlighted across the south coast and the islands, where you could get pockets of shallow flooding around high tide, which is right around midnight through the overnight hours. Forecast heading into the weekend, a lot of low 80s. Coolest at the Cape through this weekend. The breeze is going to pick up by Sunday. We'll have a little bit more in the way of cloud cover. So a cool start tomorrow morning, then mostly sunshine. You see that here as high temperatures make it into a lot of us in the low to mid 80s. Then by Sunday, we're waking up to another cool start in the upper 50s, low 60s, and we get back into the upper 70s to the low 80s. And there you see a little bit more cloud cover. Rain farther off to our north and west thanks to a front, but we're staying dry. That front's still off toward north and west Sunday. It drops in on Monday, and that's going to increase our chances for some showers and storms. Other than that, though, it's dry with high temperatures in the 70s and 80s next week.